I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
.40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. .40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim. I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Area 51 Xfinity Superspeedway Series here on Green White Checkered TV. We've got a clean slate for you here, a new season of racing on Sunday nights, and we are, as always, very much looking forward to bring this action to you, starting off the season here at Talladega Superspeedway with 75 laps and a nice crisp 68 degrees in the sim. Sunny, beautiful day, partly cloudy, and 2 mile per hour winds. We are definitely ready to kick the season off after a decent off season here. So this will be the second season for 2025 here on Sunday nights. So you'll hear a couple of voices obviously up here in the booth tonight from myself. I'm Boomer Logan, and we've also got Brandon Briggs up here with us. Second season already for Mr. Briggs, and yeah, definitely got the first couple seasons on Thursdays and Sundays out of your way, and now obviously joining back for Fridays and Sundays. What's are you most looking forward to getting into your second season here?
I'm just excited just to be back in general. The few weeks seemed like a few months for me. Got the feet wet, like you said, last season, and ready to jump right back in here and see what Sunday nights have to bring. Is we got a pretty decent car count to kick off the first night, and I'm excited to see what some returning faces and some new names spice this second season up here.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple names, new names here, and definitely plenty of returning names, which is awesome to see. Love to see some drivers coming back to us to come and hang out and compete here at Area 51. So, yeah, very much looking forward to, like you said, having some of those familiar faces, but also having some new fresh blood in to enjoy it and have some fun. So, yeah, we're definitely ready to kick this season off. Obviously, a little bit of a change in the schedule. So obviously, we've got our Sunday night series here, and then we're actually going to be racing on Friday nights now instead of Thursdays. So we had that first race this past week at Talladega Superspeedway as well, where we saw Cody Nichols take that checkered flag, and yeah, kicked off what should be a great season here. We've also updated to 14 races, so there are going to be 2 extra races, so still 4 races into the playoffs, but there's going to be 2 weeks added to the regular season. And another thing we've brought back for this season is bonus points. So we'll have to get you a full list at some point, but some of the bonus points will include leading laps, leading the most laps. I believe the pole position is also a bonus point. So there's quite a bit up for grabs, kind of changing it back up. I know maybe it was 1 or 2 years ago, they changed the points format to eliminate some of those. We had that season we had a crazy points battle due to bonus points where the person who won the championship, I believe it was Gabe Butler, actually gained 10 points in bonus points to win the championship on the final night of the season. So that went away for a little while to try and change things up, and now we've brought it back, and something for us to get to highlight and pay attention to as we see these drivers do battle around this 2.6 mile speedway, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm excited about the bonus points coming back in. It gives guys to race for the full amount of the race. Not that these guys take any laps off, but that keeps the intensity and the pressure on these drivers for the whole amount of the race. And if you paid attention last season, pit stops and executing was tough. Now you put these bonus points in it, it makes it even tougher. So last season's champion Joshua Highball conquered and made the most of it. Like I said, conquering the championship. So now the pressure's on him to try to repeat and go back to back as qualifying starting to finish up here.
Yeah, we've got just a few seconds here left in the lone qualifying session, and we will be ready to start tonight's race. So once that refreshes, there we go. We'll get that information for you. See the stands, or the fans fill the stands, and we'll pull that grid up as drivers start to get in their cars. So it looks like on the pole we're going to have the 88 of Gabe Butler, no stranger to pole positions there. Just 7 thousandths of a second behind him is going to be Charles Johnson, the number 9 to his outside, couple Chevys on the front row. First Ford in the field is Dean Wilkinson in that 55 inside of row number 2. with Jack Walls of Roswell Motorsports to his outside. Tom Dixon in that number 411, he's going to be in the P5 starting position, and he's going to have a Team Bootnacker driver, Dude Conrad, to his outside. Everett Lane inside of row number 4, alongside with Roughneck Racing's Chris Melton. The 08 of Bob Fitzgerald is going to be in your 9th starting position. Another Team Bootnacker Esport driver, Eric Laurie, to his outside. Cody Nagel's winner from Friday night, almost said Thursday, but changed to Fridays now. So Cody Nagel's taking the first checkered flag of the new season here on Friday nights, looking to continue that success into Sundays here as well. And Gary Huffines is going to be to his outside. That'll be row number 6 of the grid. Looking at row number 7, we've got Doug Webb in the 714 alongside Todd Merkel in the number 2 Ford Mustang. Justin Davis, new name for Team Bootnacker Esports, is going to be inside of Jim Brooks on row number 8. Jim in the Area 51 green white checkered TV sponsored Ford Mustang. Joshua Highbaugh, you mentioned series champion coming back on Sunday nights. Looking forward to repeating, or trying to repeat, defend his title, I should say. And he's going to have Dale Rapp to his outside in that 18th starting position. Row number 10, you're going to see Hayden Davis along with Mike Allen. Hayden Davis coming along, actually a cousin of Justin Davis, new to the field this season, so appreciate having him on board. Robert Amaral and Nathan Warner there are going to be side by side in row number 11. Frank Ranger Jr. for Blind Squirrel Racing inside of row number 12. And Maxwell Caldwell returning to the series, good friend of the broadcast, former broadcaster as well. Love to see him back in the series. He's going to be starting P24. We got a couple more names for you here. Anthony Lane alongside Bill Hales, and Gael Brooks and Bud Steele are going to round out the starting field for you tonight. So we've got a few seconds here as we pace around the field, or pace around for our single pace lap here. What's going to be kind of your biggest keys to this race tonight, Brandon? What are you looking forward to, and what are you looking for these drivers to try and execute?
Who's going to have the patience here? We got some, new season always brings a little bit of new drivers. We got some drivers that were new last season with a little bit more experience. How do they handle it? How do they approach the race? So I think we've seen a lot of last season. A lot of people started to follow in the 88's footsteps, and that's just try to stay up front and lead as much as you can. And so who's going to be patient? Who's going to try to get to the front? Is gonna tell the story early for this race.
Should be very exciting. Obviously, it's a fresh reset. I love the fact that you get a new opportunity. Maybe last season didn't go your way. Maybe last season went every way you wanted it to go, but it's still a fresh start, fresh opportunity to get back in here and do battle for 14 races with some great Xfinity Series Super Speedway drivers here. So yeah, looking forward to 75 laps, the scheduled distance, and we'll have to keep an eye on the fuel strategy. I know that's going to be that's probably one of the biggest things that we talk about, but we'll have to see how that ends up playing out tonight.
Yeah, the fuel always throws a little bit of wrench in some plans, and but that pace car's pulling off. Boom! It's been a long off season, but we're getting ready to pull that green flag down to start the season off as we make that long, slow drive through the tri-oval.
Long, slow trip, as you mentioned, through the United Rentals restart zone, and green flag is underway for the first time here in the new season on Sunday nights.
Charles Johnson really gets a very nice start out there on the outside with Jack Walls there behind him. The 88 with no help really around, no Team Bootnacker up front there with him, so it's going to take a second probably for those guys to group up, but very nice, smooth, clean start here as we go down the backstretch.
2 by 2 as they go, pretty much as they started. Pretty quiet first lap here. Nobody really trying to push the issue 3 wide just yet. The 88 surges ahead into turn 3 and 4 with the push of the new Cheerwine paint scheme. longtime sponsor for the 55, but that new paint scheme for this season in the second car inside row. Charles Johnson Hydro Flask, the familiar, very metallic, wonderful spec map Hydro Flask number 9, and yeah, there's a lot of really cool paint schemes, and obviously we'll have to get used to those. So with the new faces and the new schemes, obviously the 411 of Tom Dixon there sitting in the 5th position. He's got a new Stand Up to Cancer sponsored teal car, and it looks really good. So yeah, lots of really great schemes, as we always like to try to highlight the wonderful painters that we have in this league.
Yeah, we definitely have some good ones. And as we brought up before, the race started, who's going to have the patience, who's not. What is also new, yes, it's just a new season, but iRacing also just dropped a very big new build just, I think, a little over a week ago or so. So even the guys that help make the setups, everything, they don't know what's going on. So it's literally an any man's game out here. So I think a lot of these guys right now are really trying to figure out these cars, how much they can push, and what they can really get out of them.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Obviously, last week was, like you said, that brand new build, and I mean makes a huge difference. I know one of the great things that we saw on Friday night was definitely some adjustment to the setup. Now, a lot of the drivers were mentioning that it was harder to push and it was easier to overheat in the trucks on Friday night, but they also saw a setup that was, I think, much easier to handle and much more stable. And a lot of the drivers mentioned that we talked to, where they had opportunities to push really aggressively. We saw some really great 3-wide action for, I mean, numerous laps, which is awesome to see for an updated baseline setup for at least for Talladega. So we'll have to wait and see what it looks like for these Xfinity cars, but so far so good. They seem to be in pretty good shape. Obviously, you see them kind of moving around just a little bit, but I think some of that's also trying to get that fresh air to the nose. So we'll have to pay attention and see if that's any different from the trucks on Friday night.
Yeah, and the guys that set these setups up, they don't get enough credit, and I really like how they continuously switch it up. Nobody ever, for a season, if they find something they like, they'll keep it. But switching it every season, especially with the builds, it doesn't let a driver get comfortable, and that's one of my favorite things about racing is not having comfortable drivers because you constantly have to be learning and experimenting with your race car and what it can and can't do, and then it keeps everybody to me on a level playing field when you're constantly learning your race car, and that's how you get the best race car drivers. So so far we got some good racing, and we're starting to see that third line form on the outside there with the 49 of Melton.
Yeah, Melton's leading that charge. Duke Conrad trying to figure out if he wants to get up there. He's not going to. Charles Johnson peeking out just a little bit. I think, again, just trying to keep that nose clean. But you see that 55 there of Dean Wilkinson led that last lap last time by. Bonus point for him. He's got Charles Johnson behind him as well as Jack Walls in that middle lane. And obviously still down in that bottom lane, that's the 88 of Gabe Butler with Tom Dixon and his teammate, Gabe's teammate, Everett Lane there in the 24. And then we see obviously those guys making, it was Chris Melton there in that Ford Mustang who's making some good progress there. He's got that red Toyota just behind him. I believe that's Gary. No, it's not Gary Huffines. We'll have to see who. Is that Doug Webb, I believe, in that red Toyota? No, not quite. It is the 00. It is
No,
Gary Huffines. Yeah, it is a 00 of Gary Huffines. I was right the first time. So yes, those guys are mounting a pretty good charge, and they seem to be pretty stable on that high side. Bud Steele's further on back there, and looks like the 6 as well. That's Bud Steele. And who is in the Navy? Okay, yeah, there's a couple. Oh, there's a 6 and an 06, I think. Not sure. I'll have
yes,
to
yes,
check those.
the
Yep.
green,
Or it's a
yeah,
16.
yeah,
There it is, the
16, yep.
16 of Cody Nagels. He's our winner from Friday night. So there you go. That's getting through some of the new paint schemes and getting to know some of the new changes. But yeah, cool to see some really good paint schemes out there for sure.
Yeah, and Gary Huffines in the 00. He really brought it. I think they're handing out bonus points. I tried to tell Gael we need to get a bonus point for the best looking race car because that 00 he really brought it. I really like how the chrome look of it, how it bounces off and it looks real clean there. So attaboy to the 00 for bringing a clean looking race car. Is that third line really starting to really fizzle out there? They were making a charge it seemed with 2 cars, and the more guys that's got into it, it's kind of slowed down. Is we're still sticking 3 wide here though.
Yeah, definitely. The 55 is going to jump down in front of the 88 and grab the lead on the inside lane now as the middle lane tries to continue to make its way forward. Definitely, I mean, still four cars out in that outside lane. They're doing okay, but they're definitely not. Oh, we just see the double zero going a little high, assuming potentially some overheating, trying to get some clean air on that Toyota Supra. But yeah, it's two by two. The 55 and the 9 are now controlling both of the lines here as everyone just kind of fans out. Dude Conrad looking to maybe start that outside lane, maybe get some fresh air. But we are 10%, just over 10% into tonight's race, lap number 8 here, heading down the back straightaway, and I think it definitely seems like these guys are not afraid to push. Obviously, it does seem like they're moving around quite a bit, but it seems like the cars are seem to be underneath them pretty well. So we'll have to, yeah, I'm looking forward to see if as the urgency picks up, how much more aggressive these guys can get later on in the race.
Yeah, and I think the veterans, Dean, Charles, Gabe, Jack, them guys up there that's really leading those front two lines. As we got the double zero there, just kissed the wall a little bit, but they hold a very good line, those front four cars. They're very experienced when it comes to this type of racing. So to see them two lines just really controlling the pack, not jumping out, they understand we got 50, 60 laps left. There's no reason to push it. And as we see Charles there make the move right to the bottom, get the 83 clear of some warrant clear cool air here to cool them off some. So, but it's really good to see those guys up front controlling this race, not letting it get out of hand too early.
Yeah, now it looks like the nine's going to have an opportunity to try and get a lap led as if he hadn't already, so that'll be a bonus point for him this time by as Jack Walls is going to try and charge ahead for the next lap to get his bonus point there. Obviously, also mentioned at the top of the show that there are bonus points for the most laps led, and I believe for the pole and potentially a couple other things as well. So we'll have to get that summary there for you. But yeah, 10 laps in. The 9 leads the 55, the 88, the 411 in the inside lane, the 83, the 8, the 071, and the 2 in the middle lane, and then the 49 and the double zero are still trying to make that outside lane work. They've fallen back a little bit, but they're still trying to be there outside. Obviously, they've got a little bit before we get into green flag pit cycle, so they can try to afford to improve their track position for a little while longer.
Yeah, and I'm so shocked to see nobody's really, as we can see it starting to pick up here now. I wonder if it with the third lane, as you see Bud up there. I wonder if the guys just weren't comfortable yet, or if it comes back to that setup, with being able to push. So we got two cars back up there, and it looks like they're being able to move a lot faster up on that outside lane with two cars. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's a great run for the 16, pushing the 6 there, getting him all the way up to about 7th place, 6th place there. So that was a good bit of momentum for them as they took a good run all the way up there to get to that high side. And now the 49 and the double zero are going to join them. And Jack Walls is going to say, hey, friends, let me join you here. He's going to get in front of his Roswell Motorsports teammate of Bud Steele, and they're going to try to control this race from the top. Charles Johnson leads that lap that time by from the bottom, though.
Yeah, big move there by the 83, and the 83 knows how to win season openers. If I remember correctly, he swept both of them last season. So never count the 83 out. Didn't have really the luck that he wanted as the season went on, and good to see the 83 back up there running. But what a great clean start here. We're 12 laps in. We've had some three wide racing, and I don't think anybody is really had any bumps gone wrong or any hiccups. So great to see you in the season opener.
Yeah, that outside lane is starting to form now. They got quite a few more cars in that lane now. Now that Jack Walls has jumped up to join them, and they've got some good momentum so far. The middle lane is pretty well established as well, about 5 cars there, and a couple stragglers picking the high lane further on back, and then a couple more on the inside lane, just waiting it out to see what'll happen. But we're probably getting within 10 laps or so before we have to make a stop for fuel. And yeah, if we can go, obviously if we can go at least 2, that'll break it up into 4 more stops. But it'll probably be less depending on how far these guys can go on fuel. So Jack Wall is actually getting a really good run on the outside lane. He's got the 6, is still a Bud Steele teammate behind him, and trying to see what they could do to maybe try and lead this lap from the 3rd lane here.
Yeah, you know who I've been watching on the ticker here, and I'm gonna give him a hard time because he's in the race car and instead of the booth. But the 71, a guy Gael, I see him still back there cruising along with the 51 of Jim Brooks, and I thought Gael said he told us he was gonna make it 3 wide early. No, I'm just kidding, but just giving Gael a nice little shout out there as he's in the green white checkered 71. Car looks really good. He brought a good paint scheme to the track tonight, so. Shout out to old Gael running in the race tonight.
Yeah, it's a cool looking paint scheme he's got there. The new green, white, checkered and Area 51 colors there with some of the sponsors of the broadcast on there. Obviously, you see 4D Racewear, so really cool to see that. Obviously, his dad always running the black and green Area 51 green, white, checkered scheme as well. So they're just kind of hanging out in the back here. Obviously, they got Robert Amaral, Frank Ranger Jr. around them. They're just trying to see what they could do from behind this pack and probably trying to save some fuel. I know that's kind of the MO, especially for Gael, but really for a lot of the Roswell Motorsports guys is to try and save as much fuel as they can as early as they can. So we'll see them probably try to stretch it a lap or 2 more than the leaders are here. But obviously the leaders right now do not have any concerns with getting down to that inside lane to try and get ready to pit as we're on lap 15 and that 3rd lane is still running pretty strong even with the the leaders of each lane are pretty much even there as the 83 falls back just a little bit into the corner. But yeah, good run for all those lanes up at the front.
Yeah, and to speak on that, we brought up bonus points. We keep on talking about how crucial points are. Some of the positions in the standings were 1 point deficits, so sticking out that 1 extra lap to maybe stretch it on fuel for that 1 bonus point, sometimes that can cost you to run it just a little bit too far. So I brought up earlier, I love the bonus points, the chaos it brings with it. So I think we're going to see it kick into play here. And I think that's why them guys are staying on the 3rd lane, because a lot of them guys, like you talked about, they go an extra lap, so they don't need to be down there. Let's stay up here with our teammates. Let's keep some good pushing going on. And we know they're going to drop down, and we're going to go a lap later. So good move up there by the 83 and the 6, trying to capitalize on those points early if that is the route they decide to take.
Now you see the 55 getting back down to the bottom. He gets ahead of the 9 and is going to be now leading that inside line. Should be able to get a lap lead for himself here, I believe, this time by. So obviously Dean Wilkinson working with TW Motorsports and Charles Johnson there. So a bit of a team move there to get him back to the point and to that lead of that inside line. That leaves 2 teammates lined up nose to tail, the 8 and the 071 in the middle with Todd Merkel behind them. And then obviously we've got a couple cars running that high lane. Bud Steele is up there pushing the 83 of Jack Walls, they're still hanging out. The 00 still hanging out up there, and then a little bit further on back, I believe that is the 07 of Nathan Warner there in the key lime green Ranger Creative Concepts sponsored machine.
Yeah, and if you want anybody leading the pack coming to pit road, it's the 55. He kind of got the nickname last season by cutting it so close coming into pit road that me and Gael at one point was starting to call him Mr. Pit Stop, because he was just, there was 2 or 3 times I would have bet my life on it that he was going to get a penalty, and he didn't. He's just really good. So if he's coming down, if you're Charles, that's who I want in front of me, because I know he's really good at entering. He's not going to check up the car or anything like that. So good move there by them guys, letting the 55 get out and control the pack here.
Yeah, we definitely, we see these guys practice those pit entries quite a bit because it is so important with super speedway racing. It is funny to mention we did see a few attempts to try and brake as late as possible and still make it down to pit road, and saw some calamity because of that. So hopefully they've got those braking markers figured out, and we won't see anything from practice here in the race, and everyone can get down cleanly and safely. But the 88 of Gabe Butler is actually going to jump out of line line here. He's going to pick up his two teammates, the 8 and the 071, so he's going to be in that middle lane. That's going to leave Everett lane down in the bottom with some of the other drivers, but they are trying to see what they can do to take this lead back over, and who knows, maybe with them committing to the high side, maybe they're one of the groups that is going to want to try and stay out a few extra laps longer than the rest of our leaders here. But we'll be working on lap 19 right now. We'll be coming to lap 20 at the stripe, and so far no takers for fuel.
Yeah, no takers just yet, but I got a question for you, Boom. If you're the 714 of Webb, he's sitting right there in 12th, right in the middle of this storm. This is the first time you've ever ran with these guys in this league. What can you imagine? What's just going through his mind right now? Is you can even see the 49 with Melton right up there with him. How do you prepare yourself for this moment?
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of hanging out there in that inside lane, just trying to keep, good spot and just, doing what he can on the bottom. It doesn't seem like he's trying to make too many moves, but if you're new to the series, I think the biggest thing that helps is just trying to get a feel for, other drivers, and obviously it's going to take a while to learn everybody's tendencies and what their style really is. But I like what the 714's doing there, just kind of keeping it quiet there on the inside, just waiting for this first pit stop to happen and just going from there. So definitely not a bad way to kind of introduce yourself to the series and try to get a good night with a clean, quiet, solid run.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. We seen that last season with Justin Davis and how that prevailed for him. We spoke. If you're new to this league and you come back and you watch the broadcast, don't hesitate to reach out to some of these teams. Their doors are always open. They're willing to help you in any way they can. So if you're new to the league, like I said, and you watch this back and you want some help, or you're driving solo, reach out to one of these guys. It can pay really, really good for you in the long term and help you.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like that third lane's actually starting to form a little bit more. Maxwell Caldwell in the 94 is up there, pushing the 16 of Cody Nagels, trying to improve their position before the green flag pit cycle here, working on lap number 22. We've only got about 5 or 6 now in the middle lane. Bud Steele a little further on back, and then you see pretty much everybody else is pretty quietly, just let it go to single file behind there, as looks like the top lane's going to merge into the bottom, and that should be indicative of pit stops here coming pretty soon.
Yeah, and you don't want to make a mistake early. We've seen right here these guys are running, 3 wide. They're running really, really good. So you don't want to make that mistake coming to pit road and be the only one at this big 2.66 super speedway. And so you really want to execute. So you don't get in a bad spot. Don't get somewhere where you're not comfortable, as we see right now. Somebody's coming down solo.
Yeah, Nathan Warner's going to come down this time by. He's not going to have any help, so it's going to be very tough for him to get back up to speed without any drafting help. But we'll see if he can catch up to the field or if he's going to be left there. But unfortunately, that's definitely not great timing for him to come down without any help. So unfortunate for the 07 here. We'll see if he can find some dancing partners out there as they come back out on the track.
Yeah, and you really can't make a mistake now. So you're really hoping, as he sees right here, he sees this group right here coming to pit road right now. So hopefully, as we see, a little bit of lockup here, a lot of cars coming. As we seen the 55 all the way on the inside, what he gained 3-4 positions there as he came to enter pit road. Is we have about 12 cars on pit road right now. Boom! A
little bit of contact there maybe for the 6. Misses his pit box. And the 16 is driving through a bunch of pit stalls to get to his pit box there. So that's going to leave Dude Conrad and Eric Laurie out on track with Todd Merkel, Hayden Davis, Justin Davis, Maxwell Caldwell, Joshua Highbaugh, Dale Rapp, Mike Allen, and Robert Amaral, who have yet to pit. And then, everyone coming on lap 23 here. We'll see if anybody comes lap 24. Man, if these guys could stretch it out at least one more lap, they might be able to eliminate an entire pit stop here, but they're going to have to come on lap 24. So I don't think everyone's going to be able to make it. I think everyone's going to have to pit twice to get to the end of this one. So we'll see. This is 24 coming to 25, so it could be close, especially because you burn a lot more fuel running the pace laps. So this group right here might actually have an opportunity to make it the distance if we go the rest of the way. So that's the second group that pit. We've got Gabe Butler here leading this train of 4 cars, probably going to be a few more soon. This should be able to get all the way back to Bob Fitzgerald caught up here. And then Jack Walls is actually coming in this time by as the rest of, actually, Everett Lane comes this time too. So Everett Lane and Jack Walls are going to have quite a bit of security on fuel, as we'll see where Dude Conrad, Eric Laurie, and the rest of that group net out as Gabe Butler's coming through the corner here, getting back up to speed.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I would assume that Everett Lane and Jack Walls would have came with that first group with Gabe and those guys. I see them; they dropped all the way to 26 and 27. So I wonder if those two guys maybe had a penalty, maybe leaving.
Yes, yeah, it looks like it. So that was their second pit stop. So exactly right there. Jack Walls and Everett Lane having to come back down. Looks like for some sort of penalty potentially, probably just a pass through. It does look like Everett Lane did get service, and it looks like Dude Conrad's going to have to come down pit road again for a penalty, I believe. So everybody having issues either speeding after their pit box or unsafe pit exit as they rejoin the speedway. So some crucial penalties. Anthony Lane is also on pit road again for another penalty. None of these penalties popped up before entering pit road because it would have been served during their pit stop. So all these guys are coming down for a pit road speeding penalty after their box, or again that violation of getting the pit road exit violation coming back on above the double yellow line before the blue cone on the backstretch. So Gabe Butler is going to resume the lead of the race here. Dean Wilkinson all the way back to, it looks like like I said, Bob Fitzgerald here. Maxwell Caldwell is leading this second pack here. He has Joshua Highbaugh with him, as well as Bill Hales and Gary Huffines. Robert Amaral should be able to catch up to this pack. Might be a little difficult. He's actually bleeding a little time to them now. But Mike Allen will be there about 2 seconds back, and then Guy Brooks and Jim Brooks are a few more seconds behind. Then we go back to Hayden Davis, Nathan Warner, and Bud Steele in a group together. Frank Ranger Jr., and then Jack Walls, Everett Lane, Dude Conrad, and Anthony Lane are all the ones that have served penalties. So we've got, again, about all the way back to the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald. So about a 12-car breakaway here with our leaders. And then that pack, Maxwell Caldwell's group, is running some pretty quick lap times trying to catch up to the leaders. We'll check it this time by Gabe Butler runs a... Let's see here. It updates a 50.62. Maxwell Caldwell runs a 49.93. Now he's about 2.5 seconds back, or just under 2.5 seconds back, but you can see that that gap is closing. That group is pushing really hard, trying to get back up to our leaders, and they should have the opportunity to do that. A little bit of a disconnection from the 35 and the 94, but he's going to get a big shove down the back straightaway, and this should be able to be a group all the way back to 16th place for our lead pack.
Yeah, and we spoke. I asked the question about the 714 and those guys. Him and the 49, they were right there in that front group. They made it through all that chaos, didn't make any mistakes. So shout out to those guys, and they're right still calm here in this front pack. Is the 49 of Melton's moving that outside line forward with Cody Nagels. So shout out to those guys, and mistakes early in this race already happening. So it's going to be crucial for those guys to bounce back, and that's going to put another race within a race, and that's for that lucky dog. So don't be surprised if we start seeing some 3-wide racing here soon.
Yeah, leaders are going to pick up some of these lap cars who look like they're staying high. Obviously, Everett Lane and Jack Walls there. You can see the speed difference of just 2 cars versus a big pack. But they should be able to, like you mentioned, be in this pack and grab a hold of that draft. And then they'll be battling it out for that lucky dog. Is the 88's going to get swallowed up in the middle here. The 16 goes high with the 49. And they are going to try and see what they can do to improve their position. They're going to get get ahead of Gabe Butler here, and that's going to leave the 411 of Tom Dixon to the high side by himself. But you see that number 94, Maxwell Caldwell, creeping back into the picture that last time by as they caught the draft of that lead pack. He ran the fastest lap of the race, a 49.42, which is a very quick lap. A couple tenths quicker, obviously, was because he was catching those leaders, but he's going to settle on down in the middle. And a little bit of a wiggle there, and that all black car goes around. I'm not sure what number that is, but that's going to bring out our first caution of the night. That was, I believe that was Bob Fitzgerald. Yep, Bob Fitzgerald goes for a ride.
Oh man, yeah,
big contact.
Yeah, I don't know what is. I think I'm gonna put that a little bit on Bob's their spotter. The 94 was definitely moving fast, and I think it was a checkup, and then he didn't want to get in the 94's way and came down. And we talked about just how quickly that the hole closes up here at these super speedways, and unfortunately he went around.
Yeah, you see there he gets some contact with the 35 of Bill Hales. And doesn't look like there's too much damage to that 35 there. I can't remember if he does tap the wall. Yeah, he's gonna probably tap the wall here as they kind of netcut a little bit. So yes, actually extensive damage to the front end of that 35. Could actually be worse than the 08 because the front bumper doesn't look too terrible on the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald. But the good news is we do have 2 fast repairs for this season. So obviously that 08, we saw crab walking, so definitely quite a bit of damage for that car. But he should be able to get it repaired here. We'll see if we can rewind it just a little bit further and try to show you. Obviously, you saw the 24 and the 08 kind of making some contact as they headed into the corner here. We'll change camera angle, see if we can get a good view of this. But obviously, the 94 was kind of coming down, and then the 24, they made a little bit of netcode contact there. And then the 08, we'll see 24 slides up, the 08 slides up, and then when he does that, he tries to catch it and gets a little loose, and then tries to find a hole in that inside lane. And now you see here where he comes across and just not quite clear in front of the 35.
Yeah, definitely no wrongdoing there by the 35. I think he was just going along and was just seen a car come across in front of him. So, but like you said, these guys get 2 fast repairs, come in and get them fixed. And this is, once again, I think going to take out maybe just, what do you think? These guys might get lucky now and only have that 1 pit stop under green instead of 2?
Yeah, I think so. We'll be going, about 50 laps. So I think everyone's going to have to pit. Oh, man, it's going to be, it'd be 40 laps, yeah. So about 40 laps by the time we go back green. So, yeah, I think everybody can make it on 1 stop. We saw everyone go either 23, 24, or 25. Interesting choice. Mike Allen is actually going to stay out here, and as well as Nathan Warner. So Nathan Warner came on lap 22. Mike Allen came on lap 24. So these guys are going to stay out and not pit. Dean Wilkinson will lead the drivers off of pit road that did come down, and he'll have the 16 of Cody Nagels, Gabe Butler, Charles Johnson, Justin Davis, and Doug Webb behind them. So I'll be interested to see if Mike Allen and Nathan Warner decide to come down. Obviously, it was only about 10 laps ago before they last pitted, but they might, they would need to pit in the next 10 to 15 laps or so if they do stay out here. So I'm kind of curious to see what their strategy is here, as it looks like a couple cars are going to get the natural wave around. So I think we saw a couple cars. See if we can see. Looks like Dude Conrad, Anthony Lane, and Everett Lane are... Now, this makes sense to me. These guys waved around the pace car because the cars in front of them that were leaders pitted. So that then awards you a chance to not pit and then get ahead or get your lap back. So that makes sense to me. Okay, now we're going to see Mike Allen and Nathan Warner come in. That makes more sense there. But for the drivers like Dude Conrad and Anthony Lane, as well as Everett Lane did get caught by the pace car, so he's going to have to slow down and get caught back up. But Dude Conrad, Anthony Lane, they pit about 9 laps ago, so they're banking on having the opportunity to get another caution here fairly quickly so that they can be at the tail end of the lead lap. And it looks like we actually have Mike Allen came down, Bill Hales, Maxwell Caldwell, Guile Brooks, Nathan Warner, Bud Steele all came down. Some of these guys topping off for the second time, but obviously the 13 and the 07 getting their first service of the night. So the 55 and the 16 are going to be lined up side by side for this restart here. You see lights off on the pace car, and we're just about ready to go back green here, Brandon.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I didn't see now if the 13 had drove through pit road. I know a lot of guys to get that bonus point sometimes will drive through pit road, and then come out the leader. If they stayed out and then come down the second time, if I could be wrong, but I think that may be a penalty. That's going to be interesting to see here. I couldn't see if they drove down. We've seen a lot of times now, especially with the bonus point in effect at this track, you can do it and become the leader when you come out of pit road. So something to keep an eye on as we get ready to go back green here.
Yeah, I don't quite know. Obviously, they didn't come down the first time. I do know that based on the pit count from SDK, but I don't know. Obviously, they did not pit. I do not know if that's going to be a penalty or not. I don't think it's going to be because we do see Mike Allen in the 19th position right now, so he doesn't have a tail end of the longest line penalty. Who knows? It could be a green flag pass-through penalty, and if that's the case, we'll keep an eye on that for both the 13 and the 07. That would be pretty detrimental to their nights, but pace car is going to dive off, and we are going to be back underway momentarily. Again, the long trip through the tri-oval here. Dean Wilkinson is going to be leading us to green, and we are ready to go here at the flag stand. Lap number 33 coming to 34. Green flag back out on the speedway. We are racing once again here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, Dean Wilkinson there with a good start. Got a good little breakaway as we can see that outside line already trying to get to the bottom, leaving just one car up there as we've seen the 16 get down immediately. And then it looked like maybe the 10 of Justin Davis maybe there got down. So as we can see Gabe Butler there jumping to the outside lane, going to try to lead it and get right back up front.
55 of Dean Wilkinson getting a push from the 16, and then they move to the outside lane. 16 moves back to the bottom, and then the 88 is going to push the 55. Now we're wrecking further on back, though. Look for a moment there. Yep, Mike Allen was potentially involved. He is slow, but we stay green. Nobody is around. Everybody is still rolling here, and looks like the 07 of Nathan Warner also potentially with an issue there. He's a little slow, and yep, okay, so we're going to see it here. So as you mentioned, that is a penalty. So for them not coming down the first caution opportunity to pit under caution because they didn't come down and they came the second time, that is a penalty, and they're going to serve it here with a pass through. And it looks like Maxwell Caldwell also potentially some form of penalty. Not entirely sure what that is for the 94, but he is serving his pass through here. And then as we rejoin our leaders, the 16 continues to lead on the inside lane. Gabe Butler, the 88 to 55, lined up nose to tail in the outside lane. That 714 of Doug Webb showing strong behind the 16 at the moment there on the inside lane.
Yeah, tough break for those guys. It's just beginning of the season thing. You've been off for a few weeks, or and it's just one of those things. And they're hoping now for a caution and bounce right back as we got three wide racing up here for the lead as we see the 88 out there on that third lane by just him and Dean Wilkinson as Justin Davis and the 714 of Webb has made their way to the front as they lead that bottom lane here. Boom.
Yeah, Doug Webb, one of the Team Bootnaka Esports drivers, he's got the push from a teammate in the 10 of Justin Davis. 16 threw a little bit of a block on the 88, and he said, nope, I'm not going to stand for that. I'm going to go to the outside, and then he gets shuffled out, the 88 and the 55, which was a little surprising to me. I would have expected Charles Johnson, who's working with the 55 in the TW Motorsports chat, would have expected him to maybe jump up there with him, and that would have, essentially freight trained that 16 of Cody Nagels, but he gets some support there from that middle lane, and now the 88 and the 55 are battling in the third lane, and some bonus points there. Believe that there was a lap led there for Doug Webb, as Gabe Butler may have led that last time by, but they are starting to fall a little bit back with just those two cars in that third lane.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out. I've been watching here on that bottom lane. We're focused on the outside, but the 714 Webb, he's held a really good line down there for Justin Davis for them to really control. The Cody Nagels, who is a really experienced driver here in the 88, they're holding that line solid, not letting the second lane get the momentum, or even the third lane we seen earlier. Two cars can get up there and contend. So good job by those guys holding strong down there on the bottom.
Yeah, definitely holding the pretty wheel there for the 714 as he starts off here on Sundays. The 10 of Justin Davis, returning new member last season, but in the Bootnaka camp as well. Dale Rapp's going to be behind him with Chris Melton in the inside lane. And then again, it's the 16 of Cody Nagels there in the middle. The 9 is a little disconnected from him now, but the 9's back there, going to catch him in a second. Also, the help from the 411 of Tom Dixon in the middle, Todd Merkel. And then the outside lane, obviously, we've got the 88 and the 55 working together as Gabe Butler is going to try and find a hole, and he will get to that middle lane there now. So we had the first caution. We pitted on lap 31, so I think for the most part, obviously, we went back to about 35. So with 40 laps to go, I think everybody should be able to make it here on one stop, unless something, a caution or something comes out. But the window's not quite open yet. In about 10 laps. 10 to 11 laps, I think the window to go to the end is going to be there. So we'll see where people pit and how much fuel they can try to stretch here.
Yeah, and we seen the 55. He was the lone wolf there on the out in the third lane by himself, and kind of fell back there. Now he's in the middle, and I kind of don't see that as a bad thing. As we see these guys, they're up here. They understand they got two fast repairs now. Last season, I would have said, man, that might be a little bit bad, but we're over halfway now. These guys gonna say, hey, we can start to pick it up maybe a little bit. We do have that extra fast repairs. We see these guys getting close with the side drafts, trying to make that outside lane work, and I think it's going to start to pick up here as we're going to run into a lap car here on the outside, so it's going to get tight.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the 13 who gets into the wall for wide action there for just a second, but hopefully he keeps enough momentum to hang on to this group. But that is going to be for 28th place. So Mike Allen actually going 2 laps down there, and then Nathan Warner, who is about 7 seconds ahead of him, and another one there, Maxwell Caldwell, is going to be just ahead of him there. So Maxwell is now will be tail end of the lead lap, actually, technically. Nathan Warner is tail end of 1 lap down. And then Mike Allen is behind the field, and he is 2 laps down now, but looks like he is able to hold his position here. So Doug Webb continues to lead, gets another lap led that time by the 16 of Cody Nagels, now has the 49 of Chris Melton with him in that middle lane. The 88 is there too, trying to cover the top as well, but they are, 88's going to go to the top, and he's going to pick up Tom Dixon and Dean Wilkinson, and then Charles Johnson as that fourth or third lane starts to form once again.
I cannot believe these guys are they to me it's like it's lap 73. These guys are really scooting along here, not taking anything off. Gabe is still trying to. I figured maybe starting to get a little tight there. I figured maybe you would have dropped back a little bit as they're starting to touch now as we're going to be 4 wide. Boom.
They keep it straight, but definitely some beating and banging on the doors. We saw a little bit of this on Friday night where the trucks, like we said, were much more stable in the Super Speedway package, and it seems like that's been translated over to the Xfinity cars as well, as there's a little more contact there for the 13 and the 88 as they bounce off of each other. But for the most part, these cars seem to be a lot easier to drive. That's why you've seen such great 3-wide action for so long. Obviously, we saw a lot of that on Friday night and some really, really great battles. But it seems like these guys, obviously, they're still moving a little bit side to side, but it seems like they can kind of pick it up and and control it to some extent. unlike what seems like in years past, where if you saw someone get that sideways, there's a couple moments on Friday night we saw too, where you saw someone get a little sideways, you thought, oh nope, that's it. And they were, not to discount their racecraft and their skill, behind the wheel, but they were definitely easier to save it seemed like, than in previous builds and previous setups.
Yeah, and if you're the 714, that's what you want. You want a good controlling car, and if you don't think you need the 4D racewear gloves, you haven't been in the situation he is in. Because if I was up there for as long as he's been with the 3 wide racing, with the guys around, my hands would be, hey, boom, my hands would be sweating. That's why the gloves and the stuff that 4D provides, that's why it comes in clutch for moments like this, because you never know when you're going to be up there leading the pack around here.
Absolutely, yeah, and we've got a pretty good pack, as you mentioned there, all the way back to 15. Something we didn't mention after the restart there, we actually saw a little bit of a disconnect. Everett Lane fell on back with this second pack here, so we're going to keep an eye on them for just a second. But Everett Lane, they're about 8 seconds behind our leaders. They're running, last lap actually was about a second slower than the leaders. Actually, no, I take that back. As it updates, it's about 5/10 slower, so they're definitely not as organized here. As you see, the 6 of Bud Steele getting a little hot, so he's going to jump out of line, and that 8 of Dude Conrad's going to see what they can do to get this group moving forward. But they are, like I said, about 8 seconds behind 15th place of Robert Amaral. And there's all the way back to 25th here in this second pack, and then everybody else is caught by the pack. So Maxwell Caldwell now and Nathan Warner were just put 1 and 2 laps down respectively. So Maxwell Caldwell will be the only driver 1 lap down at the moment, so he is in a lucky dog position and just needs to keep his nose clean if a caution comes out, and he will be that lucky dog candidate. So the 16 there, he's going to make a move to the high side. He's going to try and cover Todd Merkel, and Todd Merkel gets turned by the 88 in front of the field, and that's going to be our second caution of the night.
Yeah, with 3 wide, some moves being made, and you gotta, and when you're gonna make those moves, you gotta make them. So I seen him make that move, and he decided to stick with it. That was you seen the run coming. That's what you have here at super speedways, and sometimes it ends the way it did. But man, we had some good racing up there. Oh, as we can see right there, yep.
Yeah,
he's already. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's goes high, and then Gabe Butler just kind of gets a nose just in there in time, and unfortunately as they come off the corner get into some contact. There's some big contact from the back from the 071, 52 Dale Rapp involved, 10 of Justin Davis, and we'll try and rewind this one more time with a better camera view, see if we can we'll get a little bit of a rewind here and see if we can see more of exactly what happened as you see the two coming out of turn 2 there. And we'll grab the TV tower camera, and we'll see if that's a better view here. And you see the 16 comes up, and the 2 sees that, and he kind of fades to the high side a little bit and gets that nose clean. And when he does that, Gabe Butler is there and fills that hole. And then, unfortunately, the 2 tries to get back in line, and there's not quite the space for him to get there. So contact with the 714 as well. The 10, nowhere to go. The 52, nowhere to go. The 071, nowhere to go. And they kind of check up into that group there. So those guys are probably going to elect to take that first fast repair, I would assume, at this time, and try to get some damage repaired to those vehicles. I don't think there was really anybody else involved, which you see the 94 going across your screen there now means that he will be the lucky dog and will get his lap back here.
Yeah, and we watched it there in slow mo, and it's in real time. That gap, the soon as you get in that clean air, it just slows your car down tremendously, and that line on that outside was really moving, and that was just the two being respectful and not really running into the 16 there. So I think if this was late in the race, I don't think the 2 makes that move and that wreck doesn't happen. I think he gives the 16 a shot. So I think that's just being precautious, and then thought he could get down, but that hole was already closed. So good thing about having 2 fast repairs, come in and use one and get right back out there.
Yeah, one thing I'm kind of curious on, if you look here as we come to pit road, Tom Dixon was quite a bit further back than the 16 or the 49 as they enter pit road, but it looks like that caused a little bit of a stack up here as we got some cars trying to make sure they can get to pit road. But yeah, this is for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure what this was or what happened here, but you can see, obviously it's in slow-mo now. We'll go to play, but they're quite a bit slower than you'd expect them to be, and they're 2-3 wide trying to get into pit road. Not sure if the 411 had an issue or something, but you can see the two leaders are way ahead there. So that allowed Chris Melton and Cody Nagels to come off pit road pretty easily here, and we'll jump back live. But yeah, so I think probably finally time for us to take a quick commercial break. So we're going to do that here, and our first commercial is going to be from our wonderful friends at Ranger Creative Customs.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
Another thing that will be new for this season is penalties for cautions. So the 88 of Gabe Butler admitted fault for the yellow flag there, and he is going to have to serve a drive-through penalty here. So that is going to be for the second caution there. Obviously, the two kind of sliding high off the corner, and Gabe filling the spot, and Gabe felt like that was his responsibility, so he's going to claim that and take that penalty there. At the front of the pack, we have the 49 of Chris Melton and Cody Nagels side by side with Doug Webb, Jack Walls, Gary Huffines, and Everett Lane in the first three rows, as we will go back to green on lap 49 of 75. I think, oh man, it's going to be so close. I think everybody still has to pit once on fuel here, because I don't think they're going to be able to make it all the way. So still one more pit stop looming for these drivers as we are back underway, green flag in the air once again here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, we get back going. A good start there by the 16 of Nagels. Got him a nice little run there. So if he wants, he goes right there again and gets right to the bottom. And good move there, which is going to have the 49 right there. You're going to be able to give him the push as they come here out of turn two. And it comes down to a fuel mile race, boom. And one, I just want to say hats off to the 88 of admitting fault right there. There was no problem. He said, hey, on me, my bad. I'll drop to the back. But not only that, but kind of a blessing in disguise. You know it's going to start to pick up here a little bit. But now you can kind of ride in the back and save some fuel. If anybody is really good at running these super speedways and knows how to get around here and save a little bit of fuel, it's going to be the 88. Now he's in the back. Now he can maybe, if he wants to, ride back there and try to save that little bit of extra fuel if he needs to.
Yeah, it actually looks like that would definitely work, but I think the penalty has been served as a pass-through. So for him, he'll have to come down pit road, which you see here now, and he will be probably about a lap down by the time he rejoins the field. So there's definitely a few at the back of the pack that I think are going to be trying to do that, like you mentioned, Brandon, trying to save as much fuel as possible. I don't know. With seeing these guys only go 24, 25 laps, they're going to have to go 26, 27 here. I just don't see these guys having to or being able to save so much fuel that they reduce it, by one pit stop, because obviously somebody has to lead that pack at some point and has to be wide open unless everybody, even the leader, is lifting, and I don't know if that'll be fast enough to do that.
Yeah, 10-4. I thought Gabe that penalty was an EOL.
Nope, no
That's
worries.
on me. Broadcaster failed, but a lot of race left, so don't be surprised if the 88 is fighting for his lucky dog. As I don't think these cautions are anywhere from over. We got 25 to go, and once these cars get ramped up and they get in front of who they want to be and start making them runs, I think that third lane will pick up and it will get exciting again.
Hey, you see the 07 trying to make a move there. Thought about going with the 8, but we'll see. We'll jump back there and see who he's got going with him. See if we can pick up where. Oh, sorry, that's the 17. Yeah, 17 of Frank Ranger. No, sorry. 17 is in the inside lane. It is the 07. Oh, that's right, Nathan Warner. Okay, he was the one who's jumping on the high side. He is currently 2 laps down, so he's actually battling Mike Allen for the 2-lap down spot. But so right now, Mike Allen and Nathan Warner are in a battle for the lucky dog to get one of their laps back. But that would be only until we pick up Gabe Butler in this group. But you mentioned that third lane starting to form. The 94 of Maxwell Caldwell has the 9 and the 55 of TW Motorsports, and they're going to try and see what they can do with a pretty good run all the way up on the high side there. Tom Dixon, the 411, is going to join this crew. Going to get a big push through the corner by the 94 and see how much more progress they can continue to make in that third lane.
Yeah, and these runs start to come so fast as we get these gaps in here, as we see with the 6 and as you see the 8 moving up. These runs are going to come very, very quickly, and if you got somebody right behind you, and they're not paying attention when you go to lift, we can start to see a big mess. As I said, 3 wide is picked up, and intensity is about to pick up also.
Yeah, 23 laps to go. 1 pit stop still likely looming for everybody in the field. 411 jumps on board the train on the outside there. He's going to work with Maxwell Caldwell trying to get to that lead. Again, the 9 and the 55 stay with him. The 13 there, 2 laps down, is going to be up there as well. The 24 and the 10, 2 teammates back in or nose to tail there. Everett Lane and Justin Davis, they are in the top 2 spots in that middle lane with the 52 of Dale Rapp, then 6 of Bud Steele behind them. 16 of Cody Nagels, actually not going to get this lap led. That'll be Everett Lane, but Nagels is leading the inside lane at the moment. He's still got the help of the 49 of Melton with the 83 of Walls and the 714 of Webb behind them. And again, you see fairly effortless, these guys able to run 3 wide. You do see some moving side by side, and as I say that, there's going to be a caution. But I do want to ask the drivers at the end of this. There's a big caution here. A lot of cars involved. The 8's going to get into more contact there. Man, that 51 just barely skirts through. The 52 involved again. The 94, the 35 just getting through slowly. And yeah, a lot of cars involved there. But I mean, for the most part, it does seem like they are able to form the 3 wide fairly easily. And we'll see if we can diagnose exactly what happened here and where this one started. You see the 10 coming into the outside lane there by the time that replay point hits. So we're going to back it up just a little bit, see if we can try and understand. I'm actually kind of curious if this was a pushing the pusher kind of situation where you see Dale Rapp. See if we can get a closer view in here. Maybe not that close, but yeah, you see the 10 is very close to the 24, and then obviously the 10 gets a push from the 52, and it just doesn't quite line up well with the rear of that car. And then by that point, the 10 is starting to make or gets sideways into the outside lane, the 94. And then everybody in the outside lane just pretty much all checks up as there's nowhere to go. The 55 of Dean Wilkinson's going to come across the nose of the 8 and then hit the 19 in the side as well. That's Hayden Davis. The 2 goes around. Wow, what? Dude Conrad tries to avoid it. I think he's going to actually hit Maxwell Caldwell here later on. The 17 getting into the back of Bob Fitzgerald just a little bit towards the back half of this, and you see the 8 here making some more contact with the 94, and I think that about does it for all of the issue there as well. So one last time we'll take a look and we'll just try and see. But yeah, that was definitely a big one.
Yeah, and we just brought it up a few laps before that, and what's really hard to for you watching is that the 10 and the 24 are in the same channel. The 52 is not, so the 24 probably knows the push is coming. The 10 does not. So and it's from the cockpit and the view of these cars. It's not like if you play on PlayStation or you are in the cockpit, and when you're that tight and going that fast, you cannot see the car in front of him. So it's part of being in the storm and part of this type of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Cautions are going to come out at some point, and you just hope to be not the one involved. But yeah, so that's the third caution for tonight. Will be 20 laps to go, and now at this point, nobody has to worry about fuel. But we are going to worry about stepping away for just a minute and hear from our sponsor, 4D Racewear.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Alrighty, we are ready to go. Re-racked and stacked 2x2. Everett Lane, Cody Nagels, Chris Melton, and Tom Dixon. Top 4, Jack Walls. They're in the 6th spot. Doug Webb will be restarting 5th here. And we've now got 24 cars, 25, 26 here on the lead lap. I believe Mike Allen and the 07 were, I know the 07 for sure, but both of those cars actually involved in that caution. So, actually, no, I take it back. The lucky dog would have gone to Gabe Butler there. So, that's going to put Gabe Butler back on the tail end of the lead lap. So, he was the lucky dog candidate. It does sound like the 52 may be the one receiving the penalty for causing the last caution there, so we'll keep an eye on that. He is at the tail end of the field here and looking to see if he will again pull off pit road onto pit road after the restart here to serve that pass through penalty. Yeah, so we'll be 18 laps to go as we come to race start here. Lights are off on the pace car. Again, it's 24 and the 16 side by side, the 49 and the 411 side by side. Then we'll have the 714 and the 83, row number 3. And we are just about ready to go back green here, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The 24 and the 16 gonna lead us back here, along with the 49 and the 411. And man, I can't tell Chris, man, how cool it is to see him up there running with these guys. And I know how hard it is to run up here and be new in this league. And so I once again, hats off to him. Hopefully he finishes strong here. As we're back green, is Everett Lane doing a good job here. Them guys controlling the bottom and getting a little bit of an advantage. And like you said, it's going to be interesting to see here with the 52 if he does have to come down and serve that penalty.
Yeah, the 24 and the 49 stay really well connected, but so do the 16 and the 411 in the outside lane. As you see everyone spreading out there 2 by 2 through on back to the back of the pack. So 26 cars now on the lead lap. Mike Allen and Nathan Warner again are 2 lap. Actually, no, it looks like they're scored as 1 lap down. Interesting. They are now scored 1 lap down. I thought they were 2 for a while, but Mike Allen and Nathan Warner they're only about a second behind, or a minute behind the leaders, and it's about 50-second laps. So I think that might be accurate. So they are now 1 lap down. Oh, they might have gotten a wave around from. They might have gotten a wave around because we did see a few extra wave rounds that were given on Friday night as well to try and get people back to the lead laps. So I believe that was a free wave around for Mike Allen and Nathan Warner there, but we are still. Ooh, the 83 gets turned sideways, and there's going to be another wreck down the back straightaway.
Yeah, gonna be another big one heading into turn 3. It's gonna look like ooh. Justin Davis looks like he's pretty clear coming out of that. The 071, the 94. Oh, Gael Brooks sneaking in back there is a little bit of sideway action here.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll rewind it here. Not fast forward, rewind the other button. There we go. And we'll kind of try to watch this down the back straightaway. But yeah, I definitely see the 83 kind of get a little sideways here as they come down. They're kind of snaking a little bit there as the 24 comes up. So again, a lane change happens at the front. And we'll see if we can zoom in with the TV tower camera and see if that's good enough to see. Maybe not. We'll try to grab a good camera angle here. And we see the 8 and the 83 as they come down the back straightaway. There we go. There's maybe a better camera angle here. And they just kind of, I don't know, just kind of seems like they all get bunched up. The 24 is well established in that lane now. The 411's there. And I don't know, just 83 and the 8 just kind of weirdly lock bumpers. Unfortunately for the 714, he gets involved. The 8 obviously involved. The 83 goes around. The 00 gets turned. Jim Brooks there got into the back of the 00, and you see the 8 and the 101 going for a ride. The 2 making some contact. The 19 there is going to just get a little contact there. The 9 as well. The 071 and the 7 and the 10 get into each other. And then it was further on back, the Tony the Tiger car, I can't remember whose number that is, the 81, sorry, Anthony Lane is going to get into it as well. So, man, that was quite a few cars involved. We'll jump back live. It looks like top 6 are going to stay out. Gary Huffines is going to come down pit road. Obviously had a little damage from that, probably getting a fast repair. Yep, you see that fender pop back out for him. Dean Wilkinson's in. Charles Johnson probably a past repair and a fender pop out once he gets into his box. You see the fenders pop back magically, so fast repairs for both of those guys and a few more, I'm sure, as they come down pit road. The 071, I believe, had to take a tow, so he is going to be a little bit longer to get back, I think, to his pit stall and get moving. So he's still stuck there. No, he's just repairing some extensive damage. So Charles Johnson, 34 seconds in his box. Todd Merkel, 25 seconds and counting. Justin Davis, 34. Bill Hales, 38 and counting. So those guys are just trying to repair some damage here. So we will see. Looks like Jack Wallace is going to get a lap back here, I believe. That will put him on the lead lap. So he got trapped a lap down there from that last incident, it looks like. But Cody Nagels is going to stay out. So is Everett Lane, Chris Melton, Tom Dixon, Doug Webb, and Bob Fitzgerald. And then actually Frank Ranger Jr., Guile Brooks, Robert Amaral, and Gabe Butler also all stayed out. So here on lap 60, Gary Huffines is your first driver to pit under this yellow flag cycle here.
Yeah, and to touch back on that, as we seen when we looked at the replay, the car started to snake as they go down the backstretch, and when that guy gets up there, and that we talk about the air so much, those guys, it just starts to check up, and what you don't want to run over him, especially like with 15, 16 to go. So unfortunate for them guys involved, and I think it comes back to these drivers just being a little bit too kind, and maybe it push the guy instead of trying to move out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. So big push from the 8 there. I think he's going to be the one who's going to be getting the passer penalty to kind of start the chain reaction of that caution. But we are going. Lights are still on the pace car, so actually we have a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to hear from our sponsor, Whiplash SimCams. Alrighty, here we come through the tri-oval once again. It is going to be after the 4th caution, so the 4th restart for tonight, as we are slowly making our way through that tri-oval. Green flag back out on the speedway. 14 laps to go, and the top 10 staying out. Everyone behind them pitting for maybe some fuel, some tires, and lots of damage repair for some of these cars further on back in the pack. But green flag once again. 16 leads the 49 in the inside, the 24, the 411 in the outside lane. And we're going to see the 3rd lane starting to form already with Joshua Highbaugh and the 55 of Dean Wilkinson trying to make that happen there. And they're the only 2 takers so far as we come down the back straightaway. Ooh, big push from the 55 that gets a little squirrely there for the 101. And it looks like Maxwell Caldwell is going to join that charge there in that 3rd lane once again.
Yeah, what all these cautions done is they've let that 88 slip right back into the pictures. He's right there behind Gael. He was down 40 seconds at one point in this race, and these couple last cautions have put him on the same fuel strategy as everybody else and got him right back in the mix. And when it's coming down late here at Talladega in Area 51, that 88, the Guinness car, is not somebody you want to see charging up late, as we see him make a big move there to go to the outside.
Yes. 88 in front of the 101, the 55, and the 6, and you'll see at the bottom of your screen, so pit stops for Dale Rapp. Was not able to clear his pass-through penalty from the previous caution, so he's going to get that served, and then Dude Conrad is also going to get his penalty served here for causing the last caution that we had, the fourth caution. So penalties for those guys having to come down pit road and serve those penalties. Cody Nagels is leading the inside lane still with the 24 now of Everett Lane behind him, the 49 and the 08 in the middle lane, and the 08's going to jump to the high side to cover the 411, and that's going to be a scary moment there as he stays green. And wow, I can't believe nobody got into the wall and nobody spun out. We are still green flag. That outside lane is a little disconnected, but they look like they're going to be able to regroup here pretty easily.
Yeah, Bob Fitzgerald, I believe that's who that was in that car on the third lane now, had his hands full there, and thank goodness Bob been doing this for a while and held on to her there. So, we're going to get him. Oh,
71.
The 71 guy out.
Oh,
We're
man, another big incident down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, it's getting picked up late here in the race, and it's going to pick up. This is you got to start making your moves. We know it's going to get to three wide, and we see some guys pushing strong, and we can really see. Looks like the 071 there gets a little bit of a hook there, and some strong pushing here.
Yeah, you can see, obviously, you saw the 49 kind of jump out off of turn number 2 there. Wasn't sure. Looked like the 071 might have got to the inside of the 71, but obviously gets clear and back in line. So we'll see what happens here. The 71 trying to get back into his spot, and he's able to there. And looks like the 17 of Frank Ranger actually comes up just a little bit, and then when he does, that collects the 49, who collects the 714, and at that point, it's just a huge chain reaction.
Yeah, and it's just really, really tight race in there, and yeah, I'm with you 100% there. The 17 just comes up just a little bit as the middle lane was coming down, and that's some guys just meeting in the same real estate, and unfortunate for everybody involved. Especially the 714. He was just up there running and in the second spot in the bottom lane, and he just gets chain reaction going forward. So unfortunate for a lot of these guys involved that were having really, really, really good races going so far, but hopefully they still got a fast repair left in the bag and can take care of it. As you can see, the 55 looks like he's coming to pit road there without a hood, and the old 83 looks like he's not going to come to pit road. He may have came away with that unscathed, and we see Gabe make a late move there. These guys deciding to stay out.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate. Definitely, I mean, the 714 had a really great run going. Still has some opportunities. Obviously, he's going to probably grab a faster pair here. And I also wanted to say the 49 of Chris Melton, who has had a really strong run here tonight. Unfortunately, he's going to have to probably burn a faster pair to get back out in this one. So harder to keep track of who has 2 fast repairs left. But it looks like... kind of curious timing. Scoring right now shows Gabe Butler as the leader, but I don't believe that's supposed to be correct. So he'll fall back in line here and figure out where he settles out. But Everett Lane, Cody Nagels, Frank Ranger Jr., Robert Amaral, Gary Huffines, Tom Dixon all stay out, and then your first car. Looks like Jack Walls. Actually, no, Jack Walls stayed out. So did Joshua Highbaugh. So did Duke Conrad and Dale Rapp. Your first driver off of pit road who came down pit road would be the 714 of Doug Webb. So it's going to put him in 12th, and obviously with a fresh car. So that's not too terrible for him. So definitely still has a chance to recover from that.
Yeah, most definitely. We're going to have quite a bit of laps to go here. What do you say we take one more commercial and come on back and finish this thing out?
Took the words right out of my mouth. We're going to go back to Ranger Creative Concepts and hear from our friends there.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. 'Cause late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but but I don't want half of your heart, heart, heart. You can have it back if it's only half of your heart. If it's only half of your heart. I feel like I'm afraid of the only things I can't change.
And we are getting ready to go back green after the 5th caution of the night. Everett Lane is going to be our leader again, him and Cody Nagels, all the way through everybody from 10th all the way back to 10th place, actually 11th with Dale Rapp as well. Stayed out on this pit cycle, did not come down pit road, and pretty much obviously at this point it was probably about 2 cautions ago where I think everybody had enough fuel to get to the end. So now everybody has plenty, and a lot of cars further on back trying to do what they can to repair some damage. But yeah, we'll get to go back racing here in just a second. Pace car is going to peel off, and these drivers are going to make that trip down the tri-oval one more time. 8 laps to go. It'll be 7 as we cross the stripe here on this restart. Into the United Rentals restart zone we go. Green flag back out on the speedway.
The 24 and the 16 lead us back here green, and good start there by the outside lane. The inside lane a little broken up there, not letting the 24 really get the start, but he is going to get a run here from the 8. This is going to cause a big push coming here, and what a start here to this season for not only on Sunday nights but Friday nights as well for Cody Nagels. He's running really, really good and peeked over into the thing, and he hasn't had any teammates, so he's doing this solos. We see some big moves happening as we're going 7 to go.
A couple guys further on back trying to improve their positions. The 77 finds himself in the lead of the middle lane. That is Robert Amaral. He's got the 88 behind him. 17 of Frank Ranger is going to serve a penalty for causing the previous caution there by drifting up and getting into some of the guys in the pack and set off that last chain reaction. So 6 laps to go. Everett Lane is, their car gets shuffled out of the inside lane. Who was that? That was the 00, I think. Yes, it was the 00 of Gary Huffines. He's going to be stuck way further on back. Unfortunate for him, gets shuffled out of line, and he is going to be, further on back. It's going to be tough to recover from that with this few laps left, but the 24 now leads the inside lane with the 88, the 16, the 83, the 8, and the 714 are in the middle lane, and we've got a couple takers trying to improve their position, trying to shuffle back and forth between lanes. Third lane trying to start to form again with Robert Amaral there, and we'll see how much progress they can get. It'll be 5 laps to go as we hit the stripe this time.
Yeah, Everett Lane is sitting there running a good little line. He's got his teammate there behind him, Gabe Butler, and Cody Nagels is followed in there too as Jack Walls, the season opener winner last year, has got himself right back up there. The race is coming to an end, so the 83 is going to find his way to the front. As I wonder how many of these guys got a fast repair left and is not going to be as aggressive as everybody else. And some guys that still got maybe 1 or 2 that's been cruising all race can be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. I think at this point, the aggression is at a 10 for sure. I mean, obviously with 5 laps to go, but like you said, there's a lot of drivers that have a fast repair still left. Some of them even probably have two. I don't know if that's possible, but it's possible. You know, it's probable that at least one driver has two fast repairs left. So no holds bar. 4 laps to go. The 411 peels off on a pit road here, and the 24 is going to lead this lap. The 83 with a good run in the middle, but the high side now with the momentum. I believe that's the 714 of Doug Webb. Yep, leading that charge. He's got the 6 of Bud Steele and the 52 of Dale Rapp behind him, and they are doing everything they can to get that 714 up to the lead. Down the back straightaway, we'll see. Oh, the 6 is going to get into the 8, and there's going to be another big chain reaction. Everybody but our leaders is going to go around pretty much.
And the 88 makes it through it. He looks okay. The 714, the 16 looks like they're going to be okay. The 77 still rolling. The 55 is rolling slow. Some guys just 07 with quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, a lot of damage for a lot of drivers. We'll see if we can take that back to a good spot and try to figure out what happened here. So we come down. I think it's actually on the back stretch, so we'll wait a few seconds. Actually, we'll go live speed for a second here. Grab too early of a replay point, trying to not have to rewind. So we'll slow it down as we get down on the back straightaway here. And obviously everyone's just kind of jockeying for position here. Not entirely sure where this started. This should be hopefully a good camera angle here. And try and grab the 19 of Hayden Davis. Yeah, you see it there, the 6. Not sure if that was a push from the 52. We're going to rewind that again here just to see. But yeah, it just looks like the 6 is kind of fading a little bit low, and the 52 gets into the back of him while he's pushing the 714. It's a tough position if you're that third car. You really can't do much to push the car ahead of him, and at that point, pretty much everybody's just along for the ride. So, yeah, that makes it tough. But yeah, at this point, I don't think anybody's going to have any fast repairs left because there are quite a few cars here with some carnage and some contact there. As man, only a couple cars made it through. Even the 16 and the 55 make some contact afterwards and they spin. So I think one of the only ones that made it all the way through was Gabe Butler. It looks like the 81 might have been okay, and the 94 goes all the way to the apron and still gets tagged. Man, that is a tough break for those guys. That is a lot of cars involved in that incident.
Yeah, a lot of carnage, and it looks like some guys are going to be rolling back out still. A few still sitting down. But man, what a move there by the 081. I was watching. He was, man, bad luck there. So see who can all get back going to here with what are going to be green white checkered here. I think. Boom.
Yeah, should be the first attempt at a green-white checkered. So the 714 obviously was involved in that incident, but he stays out. The car looks fairly clean, so he might have an opportunity to stay here and not have to pit. So Cody Nagels is going to be in that second position. Chris Melton, Joshua Highball, Anthony Lane, Jim Brooks, Eric Laurie, Gael Brooks, Justin Davis, and Bill Hales will be your top 10 here. It looks like Gabe Butler comes down for a little bit of service to his car, actually, after what looked like him getting through unscathed. Yeah, it's kind of weird. He has a 1.27 second pit stop. Jack Walls had a 2.87, Robert Amaral 3.95. So I think they're just taking just a splash of fuel for a guarantee there. So that's Gabe Butler, Jack Walls, and then Robert Amaral. Mike Allen comes down and gets some damage repaired. I believe Bob Fitzgerald's getting some extra fuel. Bud Steele comes down and does a little bit of damage repair, and then Dude Conrad on back. All those drivers have spent over a minute and a half now on pit road trying to repair. So I think Everett Lane is going to be able to rejoin. No, he has retired, is no longer being scored. So for now, we have 19 cars here on the lead lap and 19 cars that are out on track as well.
Yeah, what a move here by the 714 and the 49. We've been talking about them, all night. Having a hell of a run up here in first and third or first and fourth. It keeps moving, but man, hats off to those guys for keeping it up there and keeping it clean, and got a really good shot of pulling the season opener off and getting their season off to a very good start here with Area 51.
Yeah, definitely has been an action-packed race here tonight, with now our 6th caution here. And yeah, we'll take the opportunity. We'll go for one more, hopefully the last commercial break, but this is the first of 2 attempts at a green-white checkered, so there will be no more than one potential caution after this. So we'll try and see what they can do to get this restarted here and have green flag racing to the end. But until then, we will be right back.
40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Need to strap those 40 Racewear gloves and tie those laces on your 40 Racewear racing shoes tight, as pace car is going to pull off here, and we will be getting ready for another restart here. Again, as always, we have the discount code AREA5115, that's AREA5115, to be used at 40racewear.com for 15% off of your orders. We appreciate all the team at 40 Racewear and the support over the years at Green White Checker TV and Area 51, as we are back underway. Green flag once again, and a big move for Cody Nagels at the front. He is going to take the lead over, and him and the 101 of Joshua Highball are actually going to regain the front spots, and they are going to take over the inside lane with 2 laps to go. So if we get a yellow flag before the white, it will be a caution. If we get the white flag, they will have to race back to the line, and that will be the end of the race.
Yeah, they've been quiet all night, but the 51 and the 71 has made their way to the front at the right time. They're leading that outside lane. Jim Brooks and Gael Brooks got a nice little run there going with the 35 right behind them. I think everybody is going to stay chill until maybe let us take this white flag and then start to make their moves. As we can see, some guys saying, nope, I'm going to go ahead and go early, as the 83 and the 88 look like they've made their way to the third lane.
Cody Nagels and Joshua Highball have the spot for the moment in the inside lane, the 51 and the 71 with some good momentum, the 88 and the 83 in that third lane trying to see what they can do. 71 is pushing all that he can over the rear bumper of his father there, and the 714 is going to jump to the middle lane now and see if he can run to the front, and they're going to jump to the high side as the 714 is going to get turned into the outside wall, and that is going to be a big caution behind our leaders, but we stay green. Cody Nagels, Joshua Highball, Chris Melton, and Anthony Lane. Does anybody have the momentum to step out of line and try to get around the 16?
If I'm the 49, I'm looking to that outside, hoping the 081 maybe goes with me. Try to sneak a win here as the 81 makes a move, but it's going to be late here as the 16 goes up the block. That's going to maybe give some momentum here. Nope. It's going to be Cody Nagels taking the season opener here on Sunday.
Cody Nagels throws the block and gets to the checkered flag first after chaos ensues on the final lap. Cody Nagels will be your race winner here tonight. We'll go through the finishing order in just a moment here, as obviously you see the unofficial results still scrolling on your screen, as 16 is going to come around and probably do a little bit of celebrating here for that victory tonight.
Yeah, heck of a win for him. Go ahead, go pull off the sweep. That's 2 years in a row. Boom, we've had a driver come in here and sweep the opening weekend.
Yeah, Cody Nagels wins again on Friday night, and similar celebration that we saw. He's going to do it again. He's going to burn it down and going to get another checkered flag collected here at Area 51. So while we watch him celebrate in the background, we'll bring up those race results now. Again, we see the 16 celebrating for that victory here. Cody Nagels, winner at Talladega. Chris Melton comes home. Had a good race going all night long. Obviously got caught up in one of those late incidents and thankfully was able to recover to come home in the second position. Joshua Highbaugh, who came down with Cody Nagels to try and get some momentum and on the restart there were the ones who grabbed those two top spots in that inside lane, and I think that was the difference maker for that 16 winning that race. So Joshua Highbaugh there, a solid top three for him tonight. Anthony Lane, not quite enough at the end to make the charge on the last lap, and then everybody from Eric Laurie on back was either involved or slowed up by that caution there. So Eric Laurie gets through the cleanest of those behind the wreck. Justin Davis, his teammate just behind him in sixth. Doug Webb there had a good run going. He got turned there on the back straightaway towards the end, and unfortunately he's going to have to settle for a seventh place after a really good showing for tonight. Mike Allen has an up and down day, comes back from 2 laps down to finish in the 8th position. Dude Conrad also had to serve a passer penalty at some point, and he comes back to the lead lap to finish 9th. Bob Fitzgerald in the 08 will be rounding out your top 10 positions. And we did see another penalty for Frank Ranger Jr. He had to recover from that to come back to 11th. Maxwell Caldwell in the 12th position for tonight. Gabe Butler falls to the 13th position after contact on the last lap as well. Tom Dixon, Jim Brooks, Gael Brooks involved. Jim and Gael had a good shot there at the end on that final restart, but unfortunately collected there, and they're going to finish 15th and 16th respectively. Bill Hales in that 35. Is going to be a few seconds behind them in the 17th position, and Robert Amaral there in 18th. And the next page, last page of the grid, Jack Walls comes home in the 19th position. Gary Huffines had a good night until the last caution there, and he's going to unfortunately have to, got shuffled out of line just before the last caution there, and has settled for a 20th place position. Todd Merkel and Bud Steele also tail end of the lead lap, and everybody behind them, 52 Dale Rapp retired early, 2 laps early. Everett Lane had to retire as well. Hayden Davis, Nathan Warner, Dean Wilkinson, and Charles Johnson, all early retirees from the race here tonight.
Yeah, and just a fun little stat to throw out there. Only 3 guys from last year's season opener finished in the top 10. We had 7 new top 10 finishers, so awesome to see the league getting some different variety out there. So what do you say we go ahead and bring up our 3rd place finisher in the 101 and get his thoughts on this race?
Hey, Boomer. Hey, Brooks. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Pretty good. Not too bad tonight.
Yeah, it seems like you guys had a pretty good restart there with the 16 and had a good opportunity to get down to that inside lane. And from there, you guys kind of just set sail and let the calamity happen behind you. But enough of me talking. I want to hear it from your own perspective.
Well, we've got a little bit to clean up. There's a little bit of, with the new car, new class, a bunch of new drivers we're not used to running with, trying to learn how they draft, how the cars draft. Just basically everybody needs to give each other a little bit more room, and I think we cleaned this up quite a bit.
Yeah, we seen a little bit of chaos at times, and you talked about the setup with the car. If you could walk us through a little bit, we seen it looked like guys the runs were coming so fast when a guy would move up in front of the other lane that guys were really just trying to avoid the car in front of them from not running them over. So could you explain what it was with those runs?
Yeah, it kind of feels like on entry when you're in the draft in these Xfinity cars with the new tire model and the new aero package and everything. It feels like the car almost unloads a little bit, kind of de-wedges itself on corner entry, and that is if you're just in a straight line draft. Unfortunately, as soon as you get a car to the outside, once you hit the center of the corner, it seems like it loads the right rear and it tightens the car up quite a bit. And I think that we've all got to we've all got to collaborate a little bit and learn how to handle these cars a little bit in a tighter draft, running 198 mile an hour. Um, and I think that a lot of it's just going to be a learning curve with everything that iRacing's threw at us in the last, 5 days. But other than that, I mean, it wasn't a bad race. I got caught up in that accident right there, right before the green white checkered. I checked up and I knew something was going to happen. And then I got my own teammate accidentally bumped me from the rear, gave me a little bit of rear damage, put me in the wall a little bit, gave me some front damage. So I knew I didn't have a front runner car, but I knew that I could help push the 16 right from the get go from the outside groove.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. I know obviously the big update came last week. On Friday nights now, we run the Truck Series, and we also saw what seemed like some really stable setups. And from the beginning of this, it seemed like the car was actually fairly stable. And maybe that's not the case, but I'm just kind of curious, is this a case where the car is stable enough that people are willing to make more aggressive moves? Or on the Xfinity side, are these cars not that stable and it is more difficult to handle?
Um, these cars are more aero sensitive um, in a pack than what they have been, and I think iRacing went the right direction with it because it's more of a handling. You got to control your own car. You've got to the third groove, outside groove, is not what it used to be in the Xfinity and draft tracks. You can't you don't get to run off the side draft as much as you used to, um, and now you have to have two really good cars, one in front and one sucked up underneath you, to really get a good run, to be effective. Before you could you could run with one good car. You guys could be in the third groove outside, side drafting the corners, get off their door down the straightaways, and you could gain 2 or 3 spots per lap. You can't do that now. Now it's a little bit tighter racing. You've got to understand what the air is doing around you, what the other cars are doing around you, and you got to know. I hate to say it like this. You got to know when to make your moves. You know.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I appreciate that pretty in-depth analysis. So it's good to know, from your guys' perspective. Obviously, you guys are handling a lot more in the cars, and obviously that kind of explains, like you mentioned, not a bad race, but maybe some extra, incidents involved just from having to relearn this car as the new model comes out. But yeah, well, I want to take an opportunity to celebrate you and anybody you want to celebrate. So congratulations on that third place finish, and we'll roll out that red carpet if there's anybody you'd like to give thanks or shoutouts for tonight.
All right. I just want to thank Charles and everybody for uh, everybody for running this league. I think this is a really good league. It has a lot of really good potential with a lot of really good super speedway drivers. I want to thank my Silver Fox Racing guys. We try and do everything as a team, um, and we're trying to make a bigger, better name for ourselves in the iRacing community across all platforms. So,
Well, awesome.
and
Well,
and
go ahead. Yeah.
and you guys for announcing. I love watching your guys' replays of the announcing. So.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Joshua, and congratulations on the third place finish tonight. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you again very soon.
Yes, sir, and I hope to see you on Friday night too.
Sounds good. We will.
All righty. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, buddy. All right. So, what do you say we bring up our second place finisher, that guy in that number 49? That was Chris Melton. He had a bit of an up and down night for you tonight, obviously involved in a few incidents. We saw that fender pop out for that pass repair at some point. Yeah, I mean, survived the chaos in the end and was in the right spot at the right time to try to make a move, and obviously coming home second place, but still a pretty solid night for you tonight, it seems like, Chris.
Yeah, it was. I was up front most of the night, and then yeah, I got caught up in that one wreck and had to go all the way to the back, and was able to survive the next one and work my way back up to third, and then at the final restart, just got lucky.
Man, I want to tell you, and if you've been here before, I apologize. But this is the first time I've seen your name, and this is a really tough league to race in, and I think you did really, really well for the first time me seeing you, and so I just want to definitely give you your flowers for that. And And with it being the first time, if it was, what did you think of it? And with you not racing here before, how did you like the drive of the car?
Oh, it is my first time. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was clean for a while there, and then once we had the wrecks, it just kept coming. But I mean, overall, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it seemed like you had, I'd say, a pretty solid night. I mean, obviously, you spent a lot of time up front. We mentioned, caught up in a couple incidents there. I don't think any of your own doing really, but seemed like you were able to kind of capitalize and recover. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I saw you up there potentially in a chat with Cody Nagel. So it sounded like you guys were working pretty well together towards the end of that one.
Yeah, it just kind of fell in place that way at the end there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, I think pretty solid finish for you here tonight for second place. So we'll roll out that red carpet and give you that opportunity, Chris, for any thanks or shout outs you'd like to give for coming up for coming in second place tonight.
Yeah, I just like to thank the guys for having me here. Like I said, it's my first race. I enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys putting on a good broadcast, and looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Well, Chris, welcome to Area 51. Thanks for being here, and hope to talk to you again soon up here in the booth at the end of these.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Alrighty, no problem, man. We will now move into that final interview. It's going to be, hey, another winner that we talked to just a couple of days ago. Cody Nagel's coming home. 2 victories here this week in Area 51. Definitely got to be a fun week for you, getting the win for the both season openers on Friday and Sunday nights. So yeah, take us through how you did it again here tonight.
Just honestly, kind of running alone for most of the race. I felt like I was just able to make the little bit more selfish moves that want to more than likely keep in my back pocket if I'm running with a team. But I got up there, and then really it was just about keeping the car clean. I got a piece of that late wreck, and that took away my 0x, but really it was mainly about track position, because if I don't have anyone watching my back, I mean, at that point, if I lose track position, I'm probably not gaining back, so get up front and stay up front.
Yeah, you had one heck of a run, and I'm glad you brought that up. In these races, everybody talks about it's nice to have teammates, but I think at the same time, sometimes it's nice not to have teammates, because you can be selfish and you can make those aggressive moves. And we've seen with guys in the past, how they were successful was being aggressive and staying that way. So we've asked a couple guys, how was the car? Were you able to make the moves, or did it feel like maybe the car, chugged a little bit, or, how was it?
I mean, car felt pretty stable. You just had to be careful pushes that you give. You don't want to have too big of a speed difference. So normally I would just kind of burp the throttle a little bit when I go up and just give him a hit that maybe I'm only 2 or 3 mile an hour faster than the car in front of me. Anything more than that, and I feel like you're going to upset his car and you risk wrecking him. And pushing the pusher is also a little bit sketchy. So it's just about timing up the pushes and not giving the car in front of you too much a push that he can't handle, because when there is a speed difference, the car can be a little bit squirrely.
Yeah, we did see probably a few instances, unfortunately, of a little push in the pusher, and obviously some big incidents that happen. Big wrecks down the back straightaway for sure. With I think with some of that, but yeah, I mean, obviously. We talked to everybody on Friday night, and we kept hearing, oh yeah, the truck is way more stable. You're able to really make a lot of moves, and you're able to be more aggressive. And we saw some really good 3-wide action, and we were kind of surmising that that might be the case for the Xfinity cars, because we saw some really good 3-wide action at the beginning, and then we realized pretty quickly it's like, actually these cars look like quite a bit of handful. And after talking to Chris and Joshua as well, seems like these Xfinity cars are definitely a little bit harder to handle than the trucks were on Friday nights after the recent iRacing build.
Yeah, the truck's definitely the easier of the two as far as handling goes. I will say with the recent update, I don't think any of the cars across the board are cooling all that well. So cycling temps, that is the one thing that I feel like is pretty consistent for both the truck and the Xfinity, is you really have to, it's not even so much blocking as it is lane changing and giving the guy behind you some level of temps that he can kind of push you and not blow his motor. So it's kind of a courtesy thing.
but you just cannot slam the car in front of you the way you can trucks, because I feel like with them you can almost just no lift push. So a little bit more of a finesse type racing with these like tap pushes and being a little bit easier with the car in front of you.
Yeah, I appreciate that analysis for you, and it is interesting to know for yeah, the temperatures, because it seemed like that was something where, there obviously there was a little bit of, kind of snaking or a little bit of drift up off the corners, but it seems like that's also potentially heating and some of the handling issues in the Xfinity cars. But nonetheless, as we mentioned already, second win of the week, first win of the Sunday season. We'll have to see how many races you can keep this going for coming into next Friday's race. But want to say congratulations to you, two hard-fought wins, and we'll roll out that red carpet for you for any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give.
Yeah, of course, I got to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast at Green White Checker TV. Charles, Dean, and all the admins that make Area 51 go. You guys are doing a great job, and I think some of the rule changes are working. Stand Up to Cancer is the title sponsor for the season, so gotta give a big shout out where it's due. And then my sponsors, Wagner's Welding, Icon Apparel, Nightmare Sports, and a big shout out to my dad. Happy Father's Day. I love you, and hopefully to all the fathers out there, hopefully you guys had a great day. An awesome day for fathers out there. So big shout out to all the fathers watching racing, and you guys as well.
Well, we appreciate that, Cody, and definitely appreciate the shout out to all the fathers out there here on Father's Day, and congratulations to you, and hope to talk to you again very soon. Alrighty, that will do it for our interviews. So, yeah, just a few closing thoughts here for tonight. Good season opener for Fridays and for Sundays. Obviously, a little more to learn, I think, on the Xfinity side of things. Definitely a lot of changes in the updates that made these cars a little less stable than they might have been before. So that's definitely going to be a handful and something to keep an eye on as this season continues. But it's early. Obviously, we've got 14 races now, so you got a little extra time before you get into the playoffs and try to settle those things out. So obviously, if you didn't have the night you wanted tonight, that's not too big of a deal. You've got a couple extra races to be in either the top 12 or the top 16 to try and earn your way into the playoffs and compete for that championship. But yeah, definitely a more exciting race in some ways than Friday night was, but nonetheless a lot of fun, and always fun for us to get to bring this action to you here on Green White Checkered TV. So yeah, before we go through some schedule things and sign off, Brandon, what you got? What you thinking?
I'm with you. I just hope everybody understands that this was the first race of the season, and I think everybody was learning from last all the way up to the admins. And it's one of the great things about racing in this league is that they'll go back over and everybody will go over the race and talk about it. And there might be some some little things that are tweaked with, and to overall make the league better. And they'll learn, and the drivers will learn. And like you said, we got 14 races total and plenty of time to bounce back. So I would just look at this as a learning night and get ready for next week.
Definitely. Well, speaking of next week, we'll have plenty of action again on Sundays and on Friday nights now. So Sunday, so June 22nd, we will be at iRacing Superspeedway next week, and that should be the same on the schedule for Fridays as well. So that'll be on the 20th, just in 5 days here. So iRacing Superspeedway this coming week, and we'll check the Tuesday schedule here real quick. They have actually their first race is going to be in 2 days. So 2025 Season 2 for IndyCar here on Area 51 is going to be starting back up on June 17th. They're going to be at Homestead, and they're going to do Texas, Pocono, Gateway, and Chicagoland to start their season. And it looks like they're doing a 14 race season as well. So that'll line up with this most recent season of Fridays and Sundays as well. So have to keep that reminder in my head because it's been Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays for such a long time now. It's Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So make sure you're tuning in. Obviously, a lot of people will watch these back as the drivers, or if you're in the broadcast now, if you're in the YouTube channel. Appreciate you watching and supporting us here again at Green White Checker TV as we cover all of the action here at Area 51 and all of the leagues here throughout the week. So for myself, Boomer Logan, for my good friend Brandon Briggs, we appreciate you all. Hope you have a great week and stay safe.